Hey everyone, it's me, Dee. How are you? I hope everyone is doing well. I have a this wild journal that I created. It's obviously a mermaid theme. I love it. I had so much fun using it. It's going to be for sale in my shop down below in the link at Golden Nest Studio on Etsy. And the graphic images are from the Graphics Fairy, and the a lot of the hand stamped and stenciling is from Red Lead. So I will let you know as we go through things. Obviously, everything is graphic wise from the Graphics Fairy. So let's get started. It is a 3-ring binder. Everything is hand distressed and everything is hand tea dyed with the papers that I've created. I have a dangle that goes down the side here, has a mermaid here, a bunch of different charms. There's mermaids, there's a starfish, there's a seashell. We have some vintage jewelry, a lock, and that's clipped on and that will dangle down the side. That's what the binding, the spine looks like. So we have some vintage trim there. And the front has netting and pearls and seashells. I have layered it. There's rope and obviously a frame with the beautiful magical mermaids on the front, and painted and distressed and just all kinds of stuff. So here we go. It is on the front here, or excuse me, the front cover. When you open it up, we have this little window that opens up and it looks out onto the ocean and the sea, and perhaps someone is waiting to see a mermaid come about. And we have a porthole that I put a mermaid into with some metal embellishments here. And then again, like I said, the graphics are, and some of the paper that I printed off, like here, to all the Graphics Fairy. So we'll go through that. And that's the first page. And then over here we have a ledger sheet with some Red Lead stamps all about the sea, the sound of the sea, the rhythm of the waves, the scent of the air. This is a stencil. I stenciled some seahorses on. They were from Red Lead. Smoothly will sail on the waves of the deep blue sea. We have a belly band right here. And then that just clips underneath here. Turn this over and we have another ledger sheet. I fussy cut some coral from the Graphics Fairies. All of this, all the images, like I said, are from Graphics Fairy. On the back here, I stamped from Red Lead mermaids singing Deep Blue Sea. And then they all get attached nicely under this clip right here. I made a cute little pocket here with some strips of paper, the sun, the water, the world, and that all fits nicely in there. Stamped a mermaid here, some vintage trim there. I have a postcard theme going on throughout the journal. Stamped some little tiny seashells on them, and stamped here somewhere beyond the deep blue sea. That's a Red Lead, and stamped a bunch of starfish here and distressed it. Put some sailors here looking out at the ocean, and then this flips open here. And let's see, let's put this back here. Little postcards. And then over here, as this opens, I stamped some starfish there. And when I created this envelope, I put a bunch of postcards in here and stamped on the back, distressed them, some starfish. Here's a little ship with some stars they navigate by. And another one of the beautiful images that we have on the front from the Graphics Fairy. I believe that's a Red Lead. They also have images that they send you, and you can cut them and use them. I'll flip this over, some vintage trim here. I did a wax seal here, stamped relax, and I don't know if the camera could pick that up, but it's a mermaid that's inside that wax seal that I stamped. And then that's just, I stamped here, and it's just a remnant of some paper I had left over. Stamped Explore the Beautiful Ocean. It gets put under there. And on this side here, I have a vintage postcard with some seashells, some beautiful mermaids, stamped dreams and wishes. And here I created a pocket out of some coral. I did a little seashell tab here, so when this flips over, you know, you can see it on both sides, but I'll get to that in a minute. And then we have a calendar. We have some vellum paper here that I had strips left over, and a fish, a tall sailing ship, a bottle, a seahorse. And then here I stamped a mermaid, created this envelope from a template that I believe was on Graphics Fairy, and that's Graphics Fairy's paper, and then did another wax seal with a mermaid, but this one I sealed it. So there are items inside. It's up to you if you want to open it, and left it as is. And we'll take those and then let's get put right back into that nice little pocket right there. This has tons and tons and tons of different journaling cards and tags and all kinds of embellishments I've created. Best part of the trip, best moments. Those were some just random scrapbooking items I had, so I put those in there for perhaps you're going on a trip, or maybe you went on a honeymoon and you went to somewhere very exotic in Caribbean or something, and it would be perfect. You could put a lot of pictures, a lot of journaling, a lot of memories, whatever you want to use it for. And then this is a vintage trim I had. Put that in there, and then this flips over. And over here, this is a red lead stencil. Night skies, stars above, glittering, ancient songs, fairy tales whispered dawn to dusk. And I stenciled that there. And over here is a red lead stencil of a mermaid, and what I did was I just used it as a template and I cut it out. I fussy cut around it, so you can use these as journaling cards. Obviously you could journal on the front, and then you can journal on the back. Stamp dreams and wishes there. Mermaid here, I stamped with my alphabet letters magical there, and then mermaids here, and that flips over and open. Explore, dream, and this was just a old doily I had that it's made of paper, and then I just distressed it and hand tea-dyed it and did all kinds of lovely things, and have a little piece of scrap paper left over, so I used that as a tab. And then over here we have a stamp that that might be Impression Obsession, and stamp that. And then I just had some extra little strips of paper here that I created and stamped some pretty images up here, and I used some vintage trim, and that's made out of vellum, and then that just all gets put underneath there. Some vintage lace. This is handmade paper that I made. I mulched it, I put it into a blender, and then I put it onto a screen. Then I created the paper, and you let it dry. So that was a very interesting project, and it's a really great way to recycle. So that's some handmade paper. I tore it to make it look old. I fussy cut another coral out, and I kind of strung it with some baker's twine here, stamped journey here, and then over here you can see where I tied it together, and then I put a little tag on it. It says, "Let the sea set you free." I think that might be a red lead there. And some areas to whatever you want to use it for, pictures or journaling. Put a seashell there. Had some leftover paper here, so I stamped on it. Beautiful cottage. Maybe like this window over here is from that cottage. And then we have a little open fold here, and we've got some journaling cards here, daily details, travel memories, and a ship's wheel I stamped, and I just put all of that together here under this clip, stamped some sea ferns there, stamped postcards, cut out each letter, adhered it. Nice place to put a picture or something you want there. It goes right into that pocket. And then on this side, I created a pocket with the fish netting, and in here, this is a red lead. She's dreaming of bright blue summer skies, warm water waves, sunny days. And little fish you can journal on, mermaid, some bubbles. Mermaid I stamped there, and then I created a piece of paper here with some sea coral and different plants and things that you would find underwater. And that'd be a great place to journal something, maybe a nice long memory about your trip or whatever you decide to use the journal for. It doesn't have to be a trip. It could be whatever your purpose is. And then those fit under there nicely, and that is on a vellum sand dollar piece of paper. So journaling lined paper here. I believe this octopus is a Tim Holtz stamp. Stamped him and adhered him to, this is an envelope that flips open, but right here up in this corner I had some strips left of paper from leftovers, so just utilize them because, you know, use your scraps, right? And stamped a ship right there, little starfish, and then a little map that fits all nicely in this little corner that I created here for like a little tuck. And they all go right in there. And then when this flips open, we have a mermaid, deep blue sea, mermaids singing, those are red leads. And then in here, I have a postcard here, another one from there, it's red lead, and all of these obviously are from Graphics Fairy, everything in here. And it's a great site. I'll put that in later. And then as you flip this over, that's the other part of the envelope. Adhere to that side, and I did some texture there. Love the sea turtle. Put some little stars around them. A map that I believe I hand stamped that, and then I tore around it, and then I made it look old. The mermaid, created that with Graphics Fairy. And over here we have a stamp from Red Lead. Through the rhythm of the waves, you can hear the mermaids softly chanting their sea songs, quietly whispering each to each poems of the sea. And then we have a sea urchin here, and I use this like a tab, and this flips open. And then over here, I created a little bag, a glassine bag, and it's got all these little tiny seashells that I punched out and distressed, and then I put little pearls in it. It's like a little secret hideaway here, and I used some baker's twine on top, and then when you fold that back over, it lays real nice and flat. And then down by the sea, we have a jellyfish, and those fit under there nicely. And over here we have a glassine bag, mermaids singing. I believe that's a red lead. And we have all kinds of different sea urchins and shells and fish and turtles and jellyfish and starfish, and all of these you can write on the back if you want, or just maybe you want to put it somewhere in the journal and paste them down. This is a ship, and how sailors and captains have to know to tie their knots. I printed that off and distressed it and made it look old, and that all fits nicely in this glassine bag here. And then over here is another vellum piece of paper, and I just stuck that there, and it's clipped here, so when you turn this over, I have a little pocket I created here, I did some eyelets here and put some ribbon through it, so when you open it up, it opens like this, and then that way, you know, you have more room and pockets. Down by the sea, that's a red lead, obviously all different embellishments in here that I've used. Part of an image from the Graphics Fairy, and just used that as a strip. Created these bottles. This one has coral in it. I hand stamped them. And then this one has a seahorse. These were just some random embellishments here that I had from scrapbooking, but I thought that it went perfectly with the colors. An octopus in this bottle jar. So those all go in this side, and then I created some library cards on this one, and then that was just an advertisement about oysters. That goes in there. Did some vintage trim on this side. I stamped a bunch of sand dollars here, some seashells on that one. I put twine on all of them. And those were just some scrapbooking embellishment papers I had, and another seashell, and those all get put into this pocket. And then when you're ready to close it, just close it up, and then you tie it. And that's the back. That is a large stamp by Red Lead. And then we just stick that under there. Faraway Places, Journey, that's Red Lead. Mermaid Songs, punched this out here, made this Dreams and Wishes, made this a nice journaling card. Flip this over, and we have a mermaid here. This opens up and have another journaling card, Dreams and Wishes there. Postcards, I stamped those out and cut them out, put that on there. And then this is part of that handmade paper. I had a piece left over and did some netting there, a little mermaid, seashore with some seagulls, a postcard with a seashell on it. Kind of made that like a little tab there. And here we have a pocket that I created from a shell. Those, I believe, are Red Lead, Mermaid Singing, Seashells, Waves of Blue. The Coast Card, I believe that's a Red Lead I cut out. A seashell chart. Like I said, all of these like print papers that you see, that's scrapbooking paper there, but these types of papers, that's all Graphics Fairy along with all the graphics. Here is another stencil that is by Red Lead, and put a little mermaid up there. I stamped some seashells down here. She wakes early in the morn and strolls to the sandy beach. To her amazement, a pretty little mermaid sings out, "Hello, dear friend of the sea." I thought that was really cute to put in there. Some vintage lace here, some netting, and then this flips open here, and we have another pocket, some more paper, images, seashells, another seashell chart, heaps of pearls all scattered at the bottom of the sea. That's a Red Lead. Stamped sand and surf here. Stamped some starfish there, and that is a fishnet with some pearls. Here is a little jar. That's a Red Lead cutout. Discover. Did a glassine bag here. Stamped treasure, dreams and wishes. Did some vintage trim there, baker's twine. And this was a stamp that I had, and it reminded me with the cork in it, like when you see a bottle bouncing up in the water and, you know, like a message or something in it. So I thought these would be really cute for journaling cards, or maybe you want to put a picture of someone in there, or write a little love note or something, like, I don't know, a prayer, you know, whatever, a memory. And I thought, you get quite a few in here, so I put a bunch of those into the glassine bag, and then they get put underneath here, punched this out, and that folds over. And I have reinforcement on all the papers. Here is another postcard, and then this is just a piece of paper that is lined, which would be great for journaling. Nice straight lines. And then this is a stamp of some coral I put down there. Put that there. And over here we have a postcard, and then this, obviously, you know, all graphics are graphics vary, but what I was thinking of was that this is one of their templates, and you create this little envelope, which I think that's adorable. And inside I created a little journal that I hand sewed here, and this is the sea captain, and then it is a nice little journal that I did a one signature sew on it, and then that's the back, and then that just fit in there perfectly, and I just love how that came out. And then I might have stamped this and put that under that clip there. And then over here we have some vellum sand dollar paper with a sort of like a tab with a large seashell I printed out, and I did some hand stamping here and printed, obviously, you know, everything's from the Graphics Fairy. Did some distressing. These come out, so however you choose to use that. And that's just a plain back, and then they slide in nicely in here. And then you can put some photos here. I stamped out the moon and the waves and adhered that to a round piece of paper that I thought would be cute. And over here with this clip, we just have the ocean at night I stamped out, and then did a seashell there. Put this here, clip this up top, and as that comes over, we have a map, which was actually adhered to, or excuse me, clipped over here, of the world, because you know all the sea captains and sailors, they need their maps. And then we have a beautiful mermaid coming out of the water here, and some more lined paper, some more postcards. I believe that's a red leg. And then I did some stamping here: escape, discover, relax. Some areas to journal or put pictures. Did a library card here, dream, with this mermaid. She's laying on a rock. I fussy cut her out, put her in a glassine pocket, and it kind of looks like she's dreaming about what would it be like to maybe live on the land or something. I don't know. I just thought that was really cute. And then over here, this is a postcard that I stamped out, and then I used one of the images from the Graphics Fairy and made her small, and then cut her out with some decorative scissors to make it look like a stamp. And you have two of those, so obviously one here, and they come out. You can do whatever you wish to do with that. And she sits quietly by the sea and listens to the mermaid singing. And again, heaps of pearls all scattered at the bottom of the sea. Those are red leads. Some areas to do whatever it is you need to do. And postcard, a mermaid. This flips open. Did another tab with a seashell. And we have another mermaid, the book of the pearl. These are all journaling cards, and they fit in there nicely. We have a vellum piece of paper here. Tell you, there is a lot in this journal for sure. And that comes over here, another piece of my paper, sand dollar. Here's some more of my handmade paper. Mermaids, stamped beautiful ocean. Here is another wax seal that I did, only this time in gold with a mermaid. And then I thought this was really cute. This was some paper that I had, and it reminded me of gates, like going into like, you know, like a kingdom or an estate or like a castle or something. And perhaps that's what it looks like underwater when the mermaids go, you know, into their world where they live. It's got some months and some numbers. Another postcard here. That's red lead. And that goes underneath here, flips in and over. Here is an open side pocket and some more red lead images here that I cut out. I stamped a map here and distressed it, made it look old, and did a double-sided library card. That's a red lead stamp. And over here we have like a little, it's kind of like a file folder that I created out of some paper. And then here that's a red lead deep blue sea, but this was like a Poseidon and like with his Triton stamp that I had, and a fish. And here I did a distressed map with some like paper netting. A little fish. And then 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea illustrated journaling card, stamped a mermaid and distressed her and colored her in. Another ledger card, and on this side of the pocket, and another map, and then they all fold and go in here. And that is a ship. And okay, and then these go back on the front like this. Slide right in there. That flips over. And then we have here another journaling paper that's lined, and I put a starfish on it. And then at the back, this is the very back cover, we have a mermaid looking out of another ship's porthole. And then this is what the back looks like, with the sailors looking out at the sea. And so that, my friends, is my mermaid journal. I absolutely loved making it. It was so much fun. And it is going to be for sale in my shop, Golden Nest Studio, on Etsy. The link is below. And I will link Red Lead and Graphics Fairy links also. Great companies. Check them out. They're my favorite. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for subscribing, and welcome to anyone that is new. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.